What's up YouTube, I hope you're all doing well. If you're new here, my name is Danny James, and in today's video we're going to be doing an infinite chain zoom transition inside of After Effects. This video serves as a sequel to the previous tutorial which we did a couple of months ago. That was the infinite gun zoom transition. Most of you guys liked it, so I thought we'd do something a bit different and related to that one. On my comp I have these two clips. The first one is a close-up and the chain is really visible, and the next clip is a performance clip. At the end of this first clip, this one, you want to hit Ctrl D, right click and freeze that frame. You can trim it from the left side and extend it on the right hand side. Also, let's differentiate this one by giving it a different label color. I'll give it a pitch. On this freeze frame layer, you can go at the beginning of it, and then let's go 3 frames to the right. You can use your page up and page down keys. I'm going to use my preview pane. Go 3 frames to the right, duplicate, and then delete anything that comes before that. Now let's isolate this clip. I want us to draw a mask around these letters, and this is why this is kind of different from the first one. I will put my resolution on full and I will trace these letters. So it will depend with the aesthetics of the chain, but the concept is more or less the same. And then I'll hit M on that layer, put the layer mask to none. I'll do the same with letter I, Z, Z, and Y. Okay, I have traced all these letters. Now I'll highlight on all the masks. Hold shift, hit mask 1 to mask 5. I'll put them on add so that you can only see them. I'll also give them a similar label color for all of them. Since this letter D has this space right in between, I'll make sure to be on this same layer, and then I'll draw another mask inside right here. And then I'll go to that mask and put it on subtract. So we also have a hole right there. We want to scale this down. But before we do that, let me show you every other layer. Now, if we try scaling this down, hit S. If we scale it down, it won't go centrally to everything. It won't be at the central of everything. So I will undo that, and then on that layer, go to layers, right at the top, go to transform, center anchor point in layer content. You also have a shortcut key for it. Now the anchor point is right in here. So I'll scale this down to about 80. Okay, and then I'll go 3 frames to my right, duplicate that clip, and then hit S and then scale it down further. I can go to 70, and then I'll trim anything that's before that so that we have something like a staircase. Also, let's make sure there are 3 frames. Okay, it's right here. And then we'll go 1, 2, 3, duplicate that one, trim it, and scale it down further. We're down at 55. You can also go to 50. And then let's do one more. 1, 2, 3. Ctrl D, trim, hit S. Let's go around 37. I'll drop this menu. I'll click and hold on all these layers, the ones that have this freeze frame. So all these layers, right click and pre-comp them. Let's name this chain loop. You can move all the attributes to the new layer. Once you're right here where the last chain appears in the frame, so if I click right here, it takes me to this right here. So if I go back, I'll zoom in slightly, and then right within this pre-comp, you want to pick a masking tool. You want to form some arbitrary shapes. It doesn't have to be anything specific. I can see the letter D here, but this is not really essential. I'll just draw something like this. Okay, and then I'll hit M, put that mask to none. I'll draw something here, nothing really official. That is just a rectangle. Put it on none. You want to create like 5 different shapes. Just want to create a shape that is almost similar to the letters, but not necessarily. I'll highlight on these 5 masks, give them a similar color, and then let's put them to subtract so that we have a gap right there. And if we disable the clip that is right here, we have black right there. So go back to your selection tool. Within this space, create a new camera. Let's name this dolly zoom. You can maintain the settings, make sure it's right up. Since we've brought in a 3D camera, you need to enable 3D on one of the layers. So right on this pre-comp, you can toggle between switches and modes and enable 3D for this layer. Now you can go back to this pre-comp. Let me zoom out, drop down that menu, and you need to add keyframes for point of interest and position. Then you can hit U. Let me drag those keyframes in the beginning, and then right about here, let me first click on this pre-comp and make sure these clips extend so that we have some room. I'll go back here. I'll go about 30 frames in. I will now toggle between my camera controls using C. So I'll use this one to zoom in, hit C again, go up, toggle between these ones, and you just want to go through one of these holes. So I'll pick the central one. We'll make sure to zoom in completely. I'm using C to switch between these different camera controls. As I mentioned earlier, you can watch the prequel to this tutorial, which is the infinite gun zoom transition. You'll learn a lot. I'll make sure to have gone beyond all this. Now if we rub it back, you see we zoom in and then go beyond this clip. Right at this point, you can enable our next scene so that it can transition into it. It should look something like this. Remember to put these keyframes on easy ease, and then depending on how much time you want to spend on this transition, you can either take these keyframes to the right or left. I prefer about 20 to 30 frames. And then the last thing, you want to enable motion blur on this pre-comp for the chain loop. Again, switch between these modes. If you can see the motion blur, it's right here, and you should instantly see some difference to this. It almost looks 3D and it's really slick. You can even adjust the amount of motion blur on these by going to your settings, right on the composition settings. Under advanced, you can see mine is at 180, that's why it's that strong. Yours might be at default 90 degrees. Just bump it up and you'll see something crazy happening. Yeah, that's really it. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. If you do end up doing something like this, you can tag me on Instagram. My handle is right on the description box. Thank you for watching this video. See you in the next one. Peace.